first episode begins in the era of Korean kings, where a prince is walking alone through the palace, terrified, with blood covering his face. He reaches a pond and slits his wrist, taking his own life. The next day, there's talk throughout the palace that he too was killed by the same spirit whose shadow has hung over the palace for years. After this, the Queen Dowager comes to meet the king. She is the widow of the former king and the eldest in the palace. She reveals that all three of the king's princes have now died at the hands of the spirit, just as the same spirit killed the former king's 4 sons 30 years ago, leaving only one son who survived, the one who is now king. The Queen Dowager is now worried that if the bloodline ends here, there will be no royal blood left for the throne. So she urges the king to make arrangements to deal with the spirit. But the king doesn't believe in spirits. Now only his last remaining son, Prince Yongun, is left. That same night, the king himself is attacked. Something like water from the pond tries to take his life, and a voice says, "I will end your bloodline." The next morning, it's discovered that Prince Yongun has also fallen under the spirit's grip, and his condition keeps worsening. The king goes to the old priest who had helped him 30 years earlier, but the priest has now grown old. The priest tells him about an orphan boy he raised, named Gu Chon. His mother was a shaman who used to exorcise spirits, but people harassed her so much that she jumped into a river with her son. Gu Chon survived even after 15 minutes in the water, and from that day on, he has been able to see spirits. The king forcibly brings Gu Chon to the palace. Gu Chon refuses, saying that spirits only take revenge on bad people, and after looking at the king's hand, says he must have done something wrong too. Still, the king threatens to behead him if he doesn't save the prince, and has him locked up in the quarters. Here, Sangong is introduced, the king's own daughter, who was cast out of the palace 10 years ago and has now returned as a servant. The king tells her to help Gu Chon and keep an eye on him. When Sangong reaches the quarters, instead of being serious, Gu Chon just wants to sleep. She forcibly drags him outside. The two go to ask the Queen Dowager about the spirit at the pond, but her maid Jang chases them away. On the way back, Gu Chon notices that Sangong has a great deal of yang energy, meaning positive energy that gives spirits strength. He tells her that he needs this very energy to fight spirits, and that several spirits are currently appearing throughout the palace. He explains to Sangong the 3 types of spirits. Gui Mei, formed from extremely evil forces, bound to a single location. This is the one that appeared to her on the roof. Common Gui, spirits that don't harm humans, just linger near their own people. And Wan Gui, spirits of those who suffered great injustice in life and target people for revenge. The spirit at the pond belongs to this 3rd type. At night, when the prince's condition worsens badly, Sangong wakes Gu Chon. He goes to the pond, ties a rope to a tree, cuts his hand to draw blood, and explains that he will submerge himself in the pond to enter the world of spirits in order to save the prince. He also takes Sangong's bell. He needs her yang energy, and instructs her to stand beside the prince and show her blood if he starts to lose the fight, and tells her that no matter what happens, she must not pull him out of the pond. As soon as he submerges in the pond, Gu Chon arrives in the other world, which looks like the same palace but appears eerie and frightening. He begins fighting the female spirit in the prince's room. In the real world, Sangong also hears the sound of her bell. She realizes she can hear voices from the spirit world and even the words of the dead. Through this, she understands that when the spirit starts overpowering Gu Chon, she should cut her hand and smear the blood on her forehead, which distracts the spirit for a moment, because her blood is also royal blood, since she is the king's daughter. And in that same instant, Gu Chon strikes her with a sword he made from a tree branch, but the sword breaks. Gu Chon can also see the blood on Sangong's forehead, and as soon as he wipes it away, the blood on Sangong's forehead disappears in the real world too. And with this, the first episode ends here. And if you'd like an explanation of the next episode, comment episode 2. Thank you.